Hey guys, it's your buddy Ben here, and today we're just going to do a quick walk around on my 2022 Indian Chief Bobber. Had a couple folks reach out to me asking me to do an update video. I don't remember how many miles I had on the bike or what I had on it the last time I did a video, but I've added quite a few things that I know for sure since my last video, so just want to show you a couple things that I've done to it. Okay, so when the bike finally arrived, I had a clear windshield on it, and it was the Indian Accessory OEM windshield. This here is actually a Freedom Shields, this little company right here. There we go. So Freedom Shields, if you're not familiar, definitely Google them. My 11 years working at a dealership, had not even heard of Freedom Shields. You always hear of National Cycle and Memphis and all those great companies, but Freedom Shields, they make a lot of these OEM style windshields, but you can get them completely smoked out if you want. You can also get them with a flare, and up until I think literally 15-30 days ago or so, you could not get a flare windshield from Indian. Matter of fact, I don't think you can get a flare windshield this height from Indian. They make a shorter one, but not this tall. So the reason I went with this is because it's smoked. This is just a hair shorter than the previous windshield that I had on or installed previously, but this is just a hair shorter, but it's got the flare. And even if I'm sitting up proper, if I'm sitting straight up with the bike when I'm riding, the wind still goes up and over my head. I don't get any buffeting whatsoever. So yeah, so that was the first thing that I did. Second thing was the Saddlemen seat. I specifically wanted the Saddlemen step-up seat. I just love the style. This does a phenomenal job. These bikes have a bunch of torque, so I wanted something to kind of rest my back up, rest my butt up against, and feel like I'm not falling off the bike. I did not like the stock seat that came on the Chief. Originally, it felt like you were gonna fly off. It didn't really have much of a bump up or any lumbar support whatsoever, so this has plenty of support. So far, that seat has been absolutely fantastic. And I ordered the dark brown with the cross stitch, so I just think it looks cool. It gives it kind of a nice custom look. I think it's classy. These are classy bikes. I don't like cheaping out a classic bike or a classy motorcycle, so I think it just adds a little bit of class to the bike. So now, the third thing that I did end up adding, so I previously did have a set of Burly brand bags, which I still have my Burly brand handlebar bag up there, but I had a set of Burly brand throwover bags. They were a universal bag, and those I had had for probably 4 or 5 years, and they were starting to get a little bit weathered, and I had to custom fit them. There's a video that I made a while back on how I fitted them to this bike, but I just got tired. There were so many buttons and buckles that you had to use to open and close the bag. So I went to some Viking Street Division bags recently. They have a small set and a large set you can order from those guys. These are universal. They do come with metal mounts, so for those of you that want to, hard mount it, you can do that. But these do come, the bags themselves, they're PVC lined, so that's why you see it. They're rigid. They don't blow around in the wind or anything like that, which I like a nice solid kind of setup. What else do I want to say? Oh, the bags themselves are not waterproof, so they do come with waterproof covers, but these are the larger universal set of bags. And just to kind of show you how they're mounted. So me personally, like I say, I did actually have them hard mounted up to my Indian spools right up there. You can see those are the Indian backrest. I do have a backrest for my wife, but I did have the tabs, the metal tabs coming off that Viking provided for me. I just didn't like the way it looked. They didn't mount up correctly. So these Velcro straps that they provide you have been fantastic, and they keep the bag solid and secure. What I also like is, number one, all the space. So just to kind of give you an idea, this bottle darn near fits. I could pretty much close that. Actually, it does fit. This does fit a 6-pack perfectly, by the way, those of you that are curious. But I just like all the pockets. I got a couple tools in there, some sunscreen. Yeah, just a couple additional straps. So good set of bags. If you're thinking about just getting a good set of bags, quality bags, I've sold Viking bags for many, many years at the dealership. And I know them, I trust them, great company. They also have hard bags that I've seen a lot of you out there installing on this bike as well. So yeah, definitely check them out. So I threw on a set of the Indian Accessory engine guards. So engine guards, and I went with the Baja Designs S2 Pros. And I had one of the mechanics at work do a phenomenal job. I can't really seem to zoom in there. They did a phenomenal job wiring these lights up. So My switch for the lights is in here, right underneath my seat. He did a fantastic job. For those of you, if you've never had the tank off this bike, the frame up here, there's kind of a belly of the frame, or a basket, like a metal basket, if you will, that a lot of your wire is actually going through. So now obviously these lights were intended for vehicles, so there was a bunch of wiring that he had to cut out, but ended up doing a phenomenal job. Wired them up to my engine guards that I have mounted here. And you can see these are PIA light mounts, so you can see you got two different mounting holes. You can adjust or pivot the light, and they fit perfectly right on my engine guard there. And like I say, he wired everything up through underneath the tank, underneath the seat, and right there's my button, so I can turn them on and off. They're wired up correctly. They're not wired up to the battery. They're wired up correctly, so these are not drawing anything from the battery while the bike is turned off. So that's the correct way to do that. So yeah, like I say, Indian OEM accessory, engine guards, and Baja Designs S2 Pros. I did a video a while back, actually I think around the fall or the winter time, on how bright they are, and I definitely recommend getting a set of those. These are actually the combos, so you can see on the inside, this is a spot, this is a flood, and they do a phenomenal job. I've gone down the road at night when it's pitch black dark, and I've turned these off just to see how much the headlight does by itself, and it is amazing how well these do it, lighting up the sides of the road and the trees and everything off to the left and right hand side. So it's pretty darn impressive. So check that video out if you get an opportunity, and definitely recommend, if you do a lot of night riding, which I do, get yourself a set of auxiliary lights. It could potentially save your life. These here are just toe rests. I don't like the look of highway pegs hanging out. I like a somewhat sleek design, so I hate the way of highway pegs sticking out. So these are just a toe rest. Majority of the time, these floorboards, that was something else that I added. That was kind of the fourth or fifth thing that I added, was the floorboards. So these, the Chief Bomber does come with pegs. Actually, I guess they're normally up here. So it normally comes with pegs. I put the floorboards on, and the Kuryakyn Toe Rests, which I had powder coated black at my body shop. Floorboards was the other thing. And so we're gonna get up into the handlebars. By the way, the Freedom Shields windshields use the same mounting points and the same exact mounting system as Indian does. So if I flip this up on both sides, I can actually take the whole windshield off. So these are the tallest bars you can get from Indian. They're a hair, just a touch wide for me personally. I would like to get something a little bit more narrow. Dean Speeds has a set of, if you like the ape hanger look, Dean Speeds has a huge selection of ape hangers that you can get for these bikes. They'll custom make color, size, width, you name it, things like that, whether or not you got cable throttle or electronic throttle. So yeah, check out Dean Speeds there. But there's a bunch of, if you like that T-bar style setup, which I've also considered, Lawless Designs, Speedwell, I think. Who else am I thinking of? Dean Speeds, a bunch of those guys. Kraus Moto now has, the T-bar set up. So if you got any kind of preference there, check those guys out. So these are the tallest bars you can get from Indian, and I have them pulled back. If you do a lot of the longer riding, like I like to do, I did actually have these basically kind of perpendicular or right in line with the forks. They were just a hair forward, and I felt like I was kind of reaching forward, even for, 6'2" long-armed guy like I wanted these pulled back because, like I say, this is ultimately made for me, my comfort. So that's why I pulled the bars back just a little bit. You can see I added the Burly brand bag, so that's just, I keep all the necessities, registration, insurance, and all that junk. And then you can see for riding in the wintertime, I do also have a set of like cheapy style hippo hands. So like those winter hand guards you can get, or the mittens you can get for these. But these are Memphis Shades hand guards. They mount up right to the stem of the mirror here, and they look cool. And yeah, they do the job. Got little stickers there. Got the mama sticker there. Everybody loves mama. So yeah, Burly brand bag, Memphis Shades, hand guards, and the Indian OEM tall bars. And of course, last but not least, can't forget that beautiful Bassani 2-in-1. So ultimately, when I say I'm not all about performance, I'm really not. I don't care how much horsepower this is putting out. I do care that it performs well. And they always say 2-in-1 pipes just kind of highlight or capitalize your bike's performance. And I want this to perform well. I don't care, I'm not racing anybody. I don't care about a huge amount of horsepower or torque or anything like that. The bike is pretty darn torquey. Even this is a stock setup. It is not tuned, by the way, which I'll get into. But I wanted something that sounded good. If it was healthy for the motorcycle in the long run, that was what led me to Bassani. Plus, I sell them at the dealership. We're a vendor for Bassani exhaust at the dealership that I work at. So got a little bit of a break on the pipes. So Bassani 2-in-1, it sounds fantastic. I know I've done a couple videos on the exhaust and how it sounds. But personally, I just like that this has added some character to the bike because as the pipes have heated up and weathered over time, you can see they've changed color a little bit. So now, like I say, I have not had the bike tuned yet. So the reason being is I'm a little bit leery on what kind of tune I want to go to for a couple of reasons. But there is a Lloyd's tune out there. There is also, you can do the Power Vision or the Power Commander setup and then take it to a dyno and have them tune it there. So just to show you, I got 12,558 on it currently. So that's pretty much the setup. Burly brand handlebar bag, Indian tall bars, Memphis shades, hand guards, Indian OEM accessory floorboards, accessory engine guards with the Kuryakyn Toe Rests, Baja Designs LED S2 Pros to light up the night, Bassani 2-in-1 exhaust, Saddlemen seat, which I do also have the removable backrest for this thing as well, Viking Street Division large universal saddlebags. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. Yeah, really, I haven't done anything crazy to this thing. Like I say, it performs well for me. It does everything that I need it to. It's been super reliable. I ride pretty much year round. I've ridden everything from 100 degrees in the middle of summer to, I think the coldest I rode the wintertime this year was like 19 degrees when I left the house. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the setup. Nothing crazy. But the bike has been absolutely fantastic. Like I say, I got almost 12,600 miles on it. And I've been pretty much taking it. Obviously, I work at the dealership, so it's simpler just to have the guys, do the once over. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I haven't really done a whole lot of crazy stuff to it. Definitely not a bunch of performance stuff by any means. Like I say, I haven't really done any tunes yet. I still need to make up my mind what kind of tune I want to go with and which one I'm going to trust to make sure the bike is tuned correctly. Yeah, so far, no issues. Even in the heat, it performs well. I've never had this thing overheat on me. So I plan on putting many more miles on the bike here this year and the years ahead. And I can definitely see myself keeping this bike for a long time. That was kind of the whole intention was, bought the bike, something to keep in the garage for many years to come and just something to kind of keep as a memory and see how many miles I can put on it and just make memories and create some stories. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free, leave a comment in the section below, and appreciate you guys for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe. Please share to your friends, your fellow riders and stuff like that, and hope you guys are out riding safely. And it is, by the way, St. Patty's weekend, so I'm gonna go crack open a Guinness here and start editing. I'll catch you guys later.